Chosen ones, before you may listen to a single word of this revelation, breathe and steady your heart, because what you are about to receive is not just another message, not just another narration, not just another passing whisper in the noise of life. This is a calling carved for your spirit, a warning wrapped in truth, a mirror held up to your destiny. And if you dare to look away even for a heartbeat, you may lose a moment that will never return to you again. Chosen ones, understand this with the deepest clarity. The universe has aligned this precise moment for you, not by chance, not by coincidence, but by intention. There is a reason your eyes found this message. There is a reason your heart did not scroll past it. And there is a reason your spirit feels that familiar pull. The quiet certainty that something here is meant for you, and only you. I must tell you this before anything else. Do not skip a single breath of this message. Do not look away. Do not underestimate what is unfolding in front of you. Because if you turn this off, if you move away even for a moment, you may regret it in ways you cannot yet imagine. You may miss the very sentence that would have unlocked clarity or protection or understanding. You may miss the truth that the universe has been trying to deliver to you again and again. Chosen ones, listen closely. What you are about to hear will not come twice. What you are about to understand will not repeat itself. And the universe does not waste its time knocking on the same door when the one inside refuses to open it. That is why, before we go deeper, I need you to anchor yourself into this moment. Hit like, subscribe, and activate the notification bell so the universe knows you are not simply passing by. You are declaring readiness, and comment 77 as a signal to the unseen realms that you are not here out of curiosity, but out of destiny. 77 is not just a number. It is a code, a frequency, a declaration that you are prepared to receive the fullness of this message without resistance. Chosen ones, let me speak to you directly, from spirit to spirit. There are forces in this world that move quietly. There are people whose intentions are not spoken out loud, but whispered in shadows. And sometimes, without you realizing it, their actions try to disturb, diminish, or derail you. They think they can touch your energy without consequence. They believe they can disrupt your path without paying a price. They imagine you are unprotected, unseen, unsupported. But what they do not understand, what they have never understood, is who you truly are. You are not fragile. You are not abandoned. You are not wandering through life without guidance. You are chosen, and the universe takes every attack on you personally. That is why this message cannot be skipped, because tonight, at this very moment, the truth behind what has been happening around you is ready to be revealed. The shift has already begun. The unraveling has already started, and the consequences for those who try to disturb your journey are no longer in your hands. They are in the hands of a greater force. Chosen ones, if you walk away now, you walk away from clarity. You walk away from understanding why certain people are losing things one by one. You walk away from the revelation behind their sudden misfortunes. You walk away from the protection being laid at your feet. You cannot afford that. Not now. Not when everything is beginning to make sense. So stay. Let the words wash through you. Let the truth rise within you. Do not look away. Do not pause. Do not break the chain of this moment. Because once this message unfolds, you will finally understand why your silence was more powerful than their attacks. Why your restraint echoed louder than their actions. And why the universe has started taking from their hands what they once used against you. Chosen ones, Remain exactly where you are. Let nothing pull you away. Let nothing distract you. This is the message that will open your eyes to everything they never wanted you to know. And if you skip this, if you dare to turn away, you will feel the weight of missing what was meant to set your spirit free. Part 1. The moment they crossed the line they did not understand. Chosen ones. There comes a moment in every soul's journey when the unseen world shifts. A moment when the quiet truth of who you really are begins to reveal itself. Not through loud declarations, not through grand gestures, but through the consequences that unfold in the lives of those who dare to disturb your peace without understanding the depth of your spirit. And this moment, this turning point, did not begin when you noticed the changes. It began long before, the exact moment they crossed the line meant to be guarded by the universe itself. The people who tried to shake your foundation never truly recognized the weight of your presence. To them you appeared ordinary. To them you seemed like someone they could easily dismiss, manipulate, underestimate, or quietly target without repercussion. They believed your silence meant weakness. They believed your kindness meant naivety. They believed your patience meant you had no power. What they failed to see was the truth that has followed you since the beginning. Your spirit has always been watched over, guided, and protected by forces they cannot name and energies they cannot comprehend. You were never walking alone, not even for a heartbeat. Every step you took was supported by an invisible alignment that holds your destiny with precision. But because they did not see this, they moved recklessly, they spoke carelessly, they acted arrogantly, they reached toward you with hands that carried intentions wrapped in shadows. And in doing so, they awakened something they were never prepared to face. Chosen ones. When a person directs harm towards someone whose path is guided by higher purpose, they are not disrupting the individual. They are disrupting the universal order assigned to that individual. They are not touching your life. They are touching the blueprint that was written for you long before they ever existed. And the universe does not tolerate interference with what it has ordained. At the time, you may have felt their actions deeply. You may have felt the sting of betrayal, the weight of disrespect, or the pressure of silent attacks that came from places you never expected. You may have wondered why good hearts become targets, why kindness attracts envy, why humility provokes insecurity in those who have not yet faced themselves. But hear this truth: their actions toward you were not signs of your weakness. They were signs of your significance. People do not try to unsettle what does not threaten them. People do not try to diminish what they do not secretly admire. People do not attempt to disturb what they do not quietly envy. The moment they chose to interfere with your life, whether through words, intentions, manipulation, or quiet hostility, they unknowingly triggered a response from the universe that even they could not escape. Because every intention has weight, every action has alignment, every choice releases a ripple that eventually returns to its origin. Chosen ones, the universe was patient for a long time. It watched your restraint. It witnessed how you refused to lower yourself to their level. It observed how you chose peace when chaos was offered to you. And it noted how you held on to integrity even when it cost you comfort. This patience was not weakness, it was preparation. Your silence became the evidence that you trusted something greater. Your calm became the signal that you were willing to rise above instead of retaliate. Your resilience became the proof that your spirit stands on foundations they could never shake. And once the universe saw enough, once it determined that you had learned what you needed, and that they had crossed every line they were warned not to cross, it shifted. Not loudly, not instantly, but with a precision so perfect that only time would reveal its unfolding. This is the moment they unknowingly entered. The moment when the energy they directed at you began its journey back to them. The moment when their actions stopped being harmless and started becoming costly. The moment when their attempts to undermine you became the seeds of their own unraveling. Chosen ones. What they touched was never fragile. It was protected. It was purposeful. It was destined. And the day they interfered with that destiny was the day their own path began to fracture, quietly at first, then undeniably, as the truth of universal balance began its work. This is where the story truly begins. Part 2. The unraveling that begins in silence. Chosen ones. When the universe begins its quiet work, it never arrives with thunder or spectacle. It begins with shifts so subtle that only the spiritually aware can sense them, and yet these shifts are powerful enough to reshape the trajectory of an entire life. This is where the unraveling starts, not with explosions but with whispers, not with collapse, but with small fractures that slowly widen until everything they once held with confidence begins to slip through their fingers. The people who tried to disturb your peace never believed that anything they did would return to them. They thought their actions would dissolve into the air, forgotten and harmless. They assumed that because you did not retaliate, nothing would happen. They believed that silence was the same as defeat, but chosen ones, silence is not weakness. Silence is the universe's way of storing energy, gathering momentum, and preparing the exact moment to act with perfect accuracy. The unraveling always begins quietly. It begins with opportunities that stop flowing. Things that once came easily to them suddenly require great effort. Doors that always open now remain shut. People who once supported them begin to drift away with no clear explanation. Invitations disappear. Favor dries up. Luck becomes a stranger. They may not understand it at first. They may blame circumstances, timing, stress, or other people. They may try to convince themselves that they are just experiencing a temporary wave of difficulty. But chosen ones, the truth is deeper. The universe has started balancing the scales. At first, they notice little inconveniences, missed chances, delayed outcomes, strained relationships. These subtle disruptions are the first signs that their energy is returning to them, shaped by the intentions they once directed at you. Because energy never disappears, it simply finds its way home. And when that energy is built on jealousy, hostility, deception, or ill intentions, its return is never gentle. As time passes, the small disruptions become patterns. Projects fail without reason. Connections fall apart inexplicably. The confidence they once wore like armor begins to crack. And if you observe from a distance, you will notice how life begins removing, piece by piece, the very things they once used to elevate themselves. Not because you wished for their downfall, but because the universe would not allow harm to stay unbalanced. Every ripple they sent outward has traced its way back. The most striking part of this unraveling is that it happens in silence. No divine announcement. No dramatic sign. Just life quietly adjusting its flow. Chosen ones, the universe has a way of mirroring intention. When someone acts from a place of love, compassion, or sincerity, life expands for them. But when someone acts from bitterness, envy, or malice, especially toward a spirit under protection, life contracts around them. Support systems weaken. Confidence fades. Stability trembles. And what once looked like strength becomes exposed as a fragile structure held together by pretense. They begin to sense that something is wrong. They begin to realize that things are slipping. They begin to feel the weight of their own actions pressing back upon them. Yet even now, many of them will not make the connection. They will point outward, never inward. They will blame misfortune, never accountability. They will cling to denial because admitting the truth requires humility they have never cultivated. But the universe is patient. As each day passes, the unraveling grows more visible. What starts as small losses becomes significant setbacks. What begins as discomfort becomes confusion. What was once arrogance becomes desperation. Slowly, life tightens around them until they are forced to face a truth they spent their entire lives avoiding. They were the authors of their own downfall, not because you wished it, not because you fought back, not because you lowered yourself to their level, but because the universe itself refuses to allow an unjust imbalance to remain unresolved. Chosen ones, your restraint was not unnoticed. Your integrity was not ignored. Your silence was not empty. It was testimony. Testimony that you trusted the greater order, that you walked with dignity even when wronged, that you did not compromise your spirit for temporary revenge. And because you held your ground in truth, the universe began its work in your favor. The unraveling in their life is not a celebration of their loss. It is a confirmation of your protection. As their world begins to loosen one thread at a time, you will begin to see the deeper meaning behind everything you endured. You will understand why you were guided to remain calm, why you were led to rise above, and why you were asked to continue walking forward even when shadows tried to follow you. Because chosen ones, the unraveling of theirs is the unfolding of yours. Their loss is your liberation. Their collapse is your confirmation. Their confusion is your clarity. And the universe is only just beginning to reveal the truth. Part 3. When what they cling to begins to fall away. Chosen ones. There is a moment in the universal unfolding when silence turns into consequence, when subtle shifts become undeniable reality, and when the unraveling that once whispered now speaks loudly through every corner of their lives. This is the moment when what they cling to, the things they believed would never slip, never crumble, never betray them, begins to fall away, one piece at a time. At first, they try to tighten their grip. They try to force stability where none remains. They try to hold on to relationships that are already dissolving, opportunities that no longer respond, and images of themselves that no longer match who they have become. But the universe does not allow what is built on harmful intentions to stand forever. And so, one by one, the pillars they relied on begin to weaken. Chosen ones understand this deeply. When someone directs harm toward a protected soul, life does not need to strike them down in dramatic fashion. Instead, it simply removes the illusions they use to shield themselves from truth. And the truth is this: everything they once held as certain was never truly theirs. It was borrowed, temporary, conditional, and only sustained as long as they walked in alignment. The moment they stepped into malice, the universe began its quiet withdrawal. You may not see the beginning of this process. You may not hear the first cracks. You may not witness the early signs of decay. But they do. They notice the way things begin slipping from their grasp. A person they depended on suddenly becomes distant. A plan they relied on falls apart unexpectedly. A financial path they trusted becomes unstable. A reputation they boasted about begins to lose its shine. And though they will blame the world, destiny, or timing, the truth lives beneath it all. This is the echo of their own choices returning to them. What is most powerful about this stage is that it exposes the core of a person. When everything familiar begins to fall away, when life no longer caters to their ego, when the masks they wore start cracking, their true nature emerges. And for many who acted from arrogance, envy, or cruelty, facing themselves without the comfort of illusions becomes the beginning of their internal collapse. Chosen ones, the universe is not punishing them, it is revealing them. It is showing them what remains when ego is removed. It is showing them who they are without false confidence. It is showing them the cost of intentions rooted in harm. Because life always brings people back to themselves. Some return through wisdom, others return through consequences. As their world unravels, they begin to understand that the things they once used to define themselves, status, control, influence, admiration, cannot protect them from the results of their own choices. They try to rebuild, but nothing holds. They try to reach out, but hands no longer reach back. They try to regain momentum, but the path stays heavy, uncooperative, unresponsive. And this is where the emotional weight begins pressing upon them. The realization that what is falling apart is not random. It is reflective of the energy they sent toward you, reflective of the intentions they carried in secret, reflective of the actions they justified in silence. This stage of their unraveling is not loud. It is hauntingly quiet. It is the silence of losing something without understanding how to stop it. It is the silence of watching support fall away, no matter how hard they try. It is the silence of confronting a truth they tried to outrun. They will look around and see that nothing feels stable anymore. People withdraw. Circumstances shift. Life becomes unpredictable. What once seemed secure now trembles. And in that trembling, they feel the first true weight of their actions. Not because you sought revenge, not because you wished them harm, not because you intervened, but because the universe always completes what human intention begins. Chosen ones. What is slipping from their hands is not punishment. It is correction. It is recalibration. It is the balancing of a scale they tried to tip by harming someone whose spirit they never understood. All the while, you continue rising, not through effort, but through alignment. Your light grows stronger as their shadows loosen their grip. Your clarity sharpens as their confusion deepens. Your path becomes smoother as theirs becomes tangled. And this contrast is not accidental. It is the natural result of two energies moving in opposite directions. They used their energy to harm. You used yours to survive. They walked into imbalance. You stayed aligned with truth. And now, the universe answers each path accordingly. Chosen ones, when what they cling to begins to fall away, it is a sign that the protection over your life is active, present, and unshakable. A sign that the universe has begun restoring the balance that was disrupted. A sign that everything they tried to take from you is returning to you multiplied, while everything they misused is slipping away from them, one breath at a time. This is not the end of their unraveling. This is only the beginning. Part 4. When their own energy returns to them with perfect precision. Chosen ones. There comes a point in the unraveling where the universe stops whispering and begins to speak with unmistakable clarity. It is the moment when the energy they once directed toward you, whether through quiet hostility, hidden envy, subtle sabotage, or silent ill intentions, begins its journey home. Not softened, not diluted, not disguised, but returned to them in the exact form required for them to finally understand what they set in motion. Energy never dies. Energy never disappears. Energy only transforms and returns. And when someone sends harmful energy toward a protected soul, that returning energy does not circle gently. It arrives with purpose. It arrives with accuracy, It arrives with a lesson they can no longer avoid. Chosen ones. This is the stage where life becomes undeniably reflective for them. What they once released into the world becomes the very thing that shapes their days, their relationships, their opportunities, and their emotional landscape. Not because the universe seeks revenge, but because the universe insists on balance. For those who disturbed your peace, this balance begins quietly, through patterns they cannot ignore. They begin feeling the same doubt they once wished upon you. They begin experiencing the same instability they once hoped you would struggle with. They begin meeting the same resistance they attempted to place in your path. Not because you wished it, not because you prayed for retaliation, not because you harbored resentment, but because the universe protects what is aligned and corrects what is misaligned. At this stage, they begin to sense a heaviness around them. The world no longer responds to their intentions as easily as before. Their words carry less influence, their presence feels less grounded, their decisions yield more chaos than clarity. Even the people who once supported them begin to notice something is off, yet they may not understand why. Some will blame circumstances, some will blame timing, some will blame others. Few will look inward. But chosen ones, the truth is simple. Their energy has returned, and it has returned with precision. Everything they pushed outward now pushes back. Everything they projected now surrounds them. Everything they planted now grows in their own garden. And here lies the deeper beauty of universal justice. You do not need to witness their downfall for it to be real. You do not need to know the details for the truth to unfold. You do not need to involve yourself for balance to restore itself. Because spiritual protection does not require your participation. It requires only your alignment. Chosen ones. The universe watched how you responded. It saw how you held your composure when you were misunderstood. It saw how you kept your dignity when you were targeted. It saw how you maintained compassion, even when it was undeserved. These qualities are not weaknesses. They are signatures of a protected soul. And because you did not return harm for harm, the universe does not return harm to you. Instead, it clears your path, quietly, powerfully, unmistakably. The clarity you feel now is the same clarity they are losing. The stability you gain is the same stability that slips from their fingers. The peace you embody is the same peace that escapes them. This is not cruelty. This is equilibrium. The universe does not punish without reason. It corrects where correction is needed. It elevates where elevation is earned. It teaches where awareness is lacking. And for those who disturbed your journey, the lesson arrives in the form of their own reflection. They are forced to face energies they once avoided. They are required to confront truths they once denied. They must now walk through the very shadows they once tried to cast over you. This is the spiritual law they never believed existed. What you give is what you meet. What you release is what returns. What you attempt to break becomes the very force that breaks your own path. Chosen ones, take heart. This stage is not about witnessing their struggle. It is about witnessing your protection. Because when their own energy returns to them, the universe simultaneously clears the weight from your shoulders. Old burdens lift. Old wounds begin healing. Old patterns break open, and everything that once felt heavy begins to feel lighter, until your spirit stands unrestrained by what they attempted to place upon you. You do not rise because they fall. You rise because you were always meant to rise, and nothing they did was strong enough to alter your destiny. This return of energy marks the separation between you and them. Your path begins to ascend. Theirs begins to reveal, and the universe continues guiding each according to what they have chosen. This is the power of alignment. This is the justice of the unseen realms. This is the promise given to the chosen. Part 5. The moment their realization arrives too late. Chosen ones. There is a moment in every spiritual reckoning when the person who tried to disturb your path finally begins to understand what has been unfolding around them. It does not arrive quickly, it does not arrive gently, and it never arrives early enough for them to avoid the consequences already set into motion. This moment is the arrival of realization, a realization that comes only when life has removed enough pieces for them to see clearly what they once refused to acknowledge. At this stage of their unraveling, the world around them begins to feel unfamiliar. Things no longer work the way they used to. Effort brings little result. Confidence no longer yields influence. Intentions no longer produce momentum. Even their own reflection starts to look different, as though something deep inside has dimmed. This internal shift is not accidental. It is the awakening of awareness they spent so long avoiding. It begins subtly, a quiet thought they cannot dismiss, a memory of how they treated you, a resurfacing of words they once said carelessly, a realization that certain breaking points in their life began right after they tried to interfere with yours. At first, they shake it off. They tell themselves it is coincidence, stress, bad timing. But the more life strips away their illusions, the louder the truth becomes. The universe is patient, but it is also persistent. It keeps pressing them gently then firmly until they cannot escape the reality that the energy they released is the energy they are now forced to confront. This realization becomes emotional. It becomes heavy. It becomes unavoidable. Because for the first time, they see the connection between their choices and their consequences. They begin to understand that what they attempted to disrupt was never vulnerable. It was protected. They begin to recognize that your silence was not weakness but strength. And they begin to notice that their decline did not start randomly. It began the moment they tried to touch what the universe placed under its own care. This is the turning point where regret begins to hollow out the inside of their heart. Regret for the actions they justified. Regret for the intentions they ignored. Regret for underestimating a soul that was never walking alone. But chosen ones, regret at this stage is no longer a remedy. It is simply a mirror. Because realization does not undo consequences. Awareness does not erase the ripple effect they set in motion. Understanding does not reset the spiritual scales already balancing themselves. What makes this stage profound is that they finally feel what you once felt. The confusion, the betrayal, the heaviness, the loneliness. Not as punishment, but as reflection. The universe is not cruel. It is honest. It allows them to experience the weight of their own actions so they can learn the lesson they refused to learn when life offered them gentler opportunities. And now, with parts of their world falling apart, they must face themselves without distraction. Their nights become longer. Their thoughts become louder. Their heart becomes unsettled. They begin questioning decisions they once made confidently. They begin replaying conversations they once dismissed without care. They begin recognizing that the person they tried to harm was the very person whose spirit was protected far beyond their understanding. And the most painful part of this realization is not what they are losing externally, it is what they are awakening to internally. The truth that they misjudged you completely. They thought you were alone, but you were protected. They thought you were weak, but you were chosen. They thought they could interfere, but their interference only reshaped their own fate. This painful clarity arrives too late for them to prevent what has already been set into motion. The universe, does not pause simply because someone finally understands. It completes what has begun. Chosen ones, this is where the beauty of your journey shines. You did not force this realization. You did not seek revenge. You did not wish harm. You simply continued rising, and in your rise, the truth became impossible for them to ignore. Their realization is the universe confirming your resilience. Their regret is the universe acknowledging your strength. Their emotional unraveling is the universe highlighting your protection. And though this moment weighs heavily on them, it liberates you, because now the imbalance that once existed has been corrected. What they tried to take from you is returning. What they tried to damage is being restored. What they tried to disrupt is beginning to flourish. Chosen ones, the realization is not the end of the story. It is the moment the universe reveals that the tables have already turned, and they turned long before they even noticed. Part 6. Why you never needed to retaliate, and why the universe moved on your behalf. Chosen ones, there is a profound truth woven through every moment of your journey, one that many do not understand until much later. You were never expected to fight back. You were never required to defend yourself against those who tried to disturb your path. You were never obligated to return the harm they directed toward you, because from the beginning, the universe had already chosen the role you would play, and retaliation was never part of your destiny. While they plotted, you were protected. While they whispered, you were elevated. While they tried to unsettle your path, the universe strengthened your footing. And the very reason you did not retaliate is the same reason the universe moved with such precision on your behalf. Your spirit was never meant to descend into the chaos they attempted to drag you into. Chosen ones, your silence was not passivity. It was alignment. It was restraint born from wisdom. It was the quiet knowing that the universe sees what humans overlook. You may have questioned yourself during those moments. You may have wondered why you remained calm, why you chose peace instead of confrontation, why your heart refused to respond with the same darkness they sent your way. But now you can see clearly, your restraint was not weakness. It was a signal to the universe that you trusted the higher order more than temporary emotion. A signal that you were ready for elevation, not entanglement. A signal that your spirit was aligned with something greater than their intentions. This is why the universe intervened. Because when a chosen soul refuses to lower itself, the universe rises on their behalf. When you choose integrity over impulse, the universe rewards you with protection. When you choose peace over pettiness, the universe clears your path with a force stronger than any human attempt to block it. And this is the spiritual law they never understood. The universe will always fight for the one who refuses to fight dirty. While they wasted energy trying to disrupt you, your energy was preserved for your purpose. While they invested in negativity, you invested in growth. While they sought to weaken you, you were unknowingly stepping into a version of yourself too powerful for their interference to reach. Chosen ones, your decision not to retaliate was the key that unlocked your protection, because retaliation binds you to their level. Silence lifts you above it, and in lifting you, the universe began handling what you never had to. This is why they feel the consequences now, not because you wished for their downfall, but because you refused to join them in the shadows. The universe does not punish, it rebalances. The energy they tried to place upon you returned to them because you did not claim it. You did not absorb it, you did not allow it to shape you. You simply kept walking, and in doing so, you left their darkness with nowhere to go but back home. This is why you must understand the depth of your strength. It takes true power to stay calm while being provoked. It takes true discipline to protect your peace when others try to shatter it. It takes true spiritual maturity to let the universe work, even when your heart aches for justice. And now, look at the unfolding. The heaviness you once carried is no longer yours. The confusion that clouded your path has dissolved. The instability that surrounded you has vanished. Meanwhile, the weight they intended for you now sits on their own shoulders. The chaos they created now circles their own lives. The energy they release now shapes their own days. Not because you demanded justice, but because you walked away from the battlefield that was never meant for you. Chosen ones, your refusal to retaliate was a declaration of identity. It told the universe that you were ready to rise above, not sink below. It told the universe that your heart was aligned with truth, not ego. It told the universe that you understood your worth was not dependent on their actions. And because of this, the universe answered you, not with words but with movement. It lifted you, it protected you, it restored you, and it revealed the truth behind every hidden intention aimed at your downfall. So do not ever mistake your gentleness for fragility. Do not ever mistake your silence for insignificance. Do not ever mistake your humility for helplessness. The universe does not protect the weak, it protects the worthy. And you, chosen ones, have proven yourself worthy through every moment you chose peace over conflict, clarity over chaos, and elevation over ego. This is why you rise now. This is why they fall into the consequences of their own making. This is why the universe continues to stand between you and everything that once tried to break you. Not because you fought, but because you refused to. Part 7. When their fall becomes your confirmation and your rising becomes inevitable. Chosen ones. There arrives a moment in every divinely guided journey when everything becomes clear. When the veil lifts, when understanding settles into your spirit like a long-awaited truth. This moment is not loud, though its impact is profound. It is not chaotic, though its effects echo through every layer of your being. It is the moment when you finally recognize that the downfall of those who tried to disturb your path was never about their destruction. It was about your confirmation. Because chosen ones, their decline is not a spectacle meant for your delight. It is a revelation meant for your awakening. It shows you that the universe saw everything they did in secret. The intentions, the whispers, the envy, the interference. It shows you that your suffering was never ignored. Every tear, every weight, every silent battle. It shows you that your integrity had power. More power than their manipulation. More endurance than their ego. And above all, it shows you this one unshakable truth. You were chosen long before they tried to break you. This moment, when they are forced to face the consequences of their own actions, is not about punishment. It is about alignment returning to its rightful place. It is about the universal scales lowering on one side and rising on the other. It is about the confirmation that everything you endured had purpose, and everything you lost is making room for what you are about to receive. Chosen ones, this is the season where you rise not because they fall, but because nothing stands in your way anymore. The obstacles they built crumble beneath the weight of truth. The delays they caused dissolve as destiny clears your path. The wounds they created no longer hold power over your spirit. You rise because you were always meant to rise. And now the universe is removing the final remnants of resistance. This is the moment when the light within you becomes undeniable, even to those who once tried to dim it. They see it now. They feel it now. They cannot escape it now. Your elevation exposes the hollowness of their intentions. Your strength reveals the fragility of their deceit. Your progress highlights the stagnation created by their own choices. And though they may never admit it out loud, their spirit knows they should have never touched you. They should have never underestimated you. They should have never provoked what the universe protects. But chosen ones, your story is not about them. Your story is about who you become after everything they tried to do has failed. This is where the transformation becomes undeniable. You begin to feel a peace that cannot be shaken. You begin to sense a clarity that cannot be distorted. You begin to walk with a confidence that cannot be dimmed. You begin to attract opportunities that flow effortlessly toward you. The universe, seeing your endurance, now shifts its energy toward your expansion. What once felt delayed now arrives with divine timing. What once felt blocked now opens with ease. What once felt uncertain now becomes illuminated. And as they watch from a distance, unable to stop what is unfolding, they learn the greatest lesson of all, that harming a chosen soul does not break the chosen. It awakens them. Every trial you endured has shaped your vision. Every betrayal has sharpened your intuition. Every injustice has carved depth into your spirit. Every loss has prepared the soil for your abundance. You are not rising despite what happened. You are rising because of it. The universe allowed you to walk through darkness not to punish you, but to reveal your strength. It allowed you to face opposition not to weaken you, but to awaken your identity. It allowed you to experience their interference not to break you, but to position you for elevation beyond their reach. And now, the elevation begins. Not quietly but unmistakably. Not slowly but steadily. Not temporarily but permanently. Chosen ones, this is where you step into the life that was always meant for you. This is where everything taken from you returns in greater form. This is where your spirit expands into spaces your past self could not even imagine. This is where you realize that all along, you were never losing. You were being prepared. Their downfall is simply the echo of a universal truth, that no weapon formed against a chosen soul can ever prosper. Not because the weapon doesn't exist, but because the universe will not allow it to strike. And so, chosen ones, breathe deeply now. Your journey through struggle has ended. Your chapter of rising has begun. Walk forward with the knowing that every force that once opposed you has already fallen away, and every blessing meant for you is already on its way. Closing. The universe has seen everything, and now it moves for you, chosen ones. As you reach the end of this message, let these final words settle into the deepest part of your spirit. You have walked through shadows that were not meant for you, endured storms you never deserved, and faced intentions that were quietly shaped against your peace. Yet here you stand, not broken, not diminished, but awakened into the truth of who you were all along. This journey was not about proving your strength to others. It was about revealing your strength to yourself. Because you needed to see what the universe already knew. That you are not fragile. That you are not unprotected. That you are not wandering without purpose. And that no force, seen or unseen, could ever remove what was destined for your hands. Throughout every stage of this unfolding, the universe was not merely observing. It was aligning. It was shifting. It was preparing. And now, chosen ones, the alignment is complete. Everything that once weighed you down has been lifted. Everything that once opposed you has been dismantled. Everything that once confused your spirit has been clarified. You are stepping out of one chapter and into another, not with fear, but with certainty. Not with doubt, but with purpose. Not with pain, but with wisdom forged from every moment you survived. This closing is not an ending, it is a threshold into a life where your spirit is no longer dimmed by the intentions of others. A threshold into clarity, pure, unobstructed clarity. A threshold into expansion, into blessing, into opportunities that unfold effortlessly because nothing stands in your way anymore. The universe has reclaimed what was imbalanced. It has restored what was disrupted. It has returned what was taken. And now it turns its full attention toward your rising. Chosen ones, hear this with the fullness of your heart. You are entering a season where the very things meant to break you become the foundation for your elevation, where the betrayal you carried becomes the strength in your voice, where the silence you maintained becomes the reason the universe defends you so fiercely. You do not rise in spite of what happened. You rise because of what happened. Because every wound shaped depth, every attack sharpened your intuition, every loss expanded your capacity to receive, and every disappointment carved open the space needed for your blessings to land. And while those who disturbed your journey now walk through the consequences of their own choices, understand this: their story is no longer tied to yours. Their energy no longer touches your path. Their intentions no longer influence your destiny. You have been released. You have been elevated. You have been seen. And now, the universe begins to open doors that will not close, align connections that will not fail, and place opportunities before you that no human interference can interrupt. Chosen ones, the chapter of endurance is over. This is the chapter of expansion. This is the chapter of restoration. This is the chapter where your spirit stands tall, unshaken, unbothered, and unstoppable. Walk forward now with the certainty that everything meant for you is already finding its way. Walk forward knowing you did not need revenge to rise. Your integrity paved a higher road. Walk forward understanding that every blessing ahead is not luck, but alignment. You were chosen long before the world knew your name. You were protected long before harm ever approached. And now, you are elevated long after the intentions against you have fallen away. This is your time. This is your turning point. This is your undeniable becoming. And the universe, it moves for you now.